So last night I watched Tron Legacy for the first time. Never saw this movie, and I saw it for free. Doesn't matter how I was with, in college, whatever. And I was disappointed in it. I was disappointed because it was made by Disney, and it had some pretty good actors and a pretty good staff. And I was more disappointed in Tron Legacy than I was in Charlie Sheen. Why? Like I just said, it was produced and made by people who knew what they were doing. They all have a history. Disney is tested, try and true, whatever you may say. They know how to make a movie. The actors know how to act. The writers know how to write. And they produced a movie that was kind of a letdown, but you know what? What did you really expect? I fell asleep during the first Tron. Now, Charlie Sheen, on the other hand, let's go through this a little bit. It's all right, I'm trying something a little bit new today. Hopefully you could see the marker. But now Charlie Sheen never did this before. My expectations was someone who never did stand-up, never talked to a live audience like this ever before. My expectations were met. So let's go through what we saw, or at least through my experience. Can't talk for everybody. I can only talk for myself. Doors opened at 8 o'clock. Okay. I'm going through some notes because so many websites have the timeline up, so I'm just going to go through their timeline a little bit and say what I experienced during that timeline and after that timeline, which they don't have, because these were published not even 5 minutes after the show ended. So no one said nothing about the encore. Nobody said nothing about what happened afterwards. Kind of seems incomplete, don't you think? 8 o'clock, doors opened. Well, maybe open a little bit, but there was a long line still at 8 o'clock. Couldn't get in there. When I finally got near my seat, or at least the area where we're to be seated, guess what happened? They put me in the wrong seat. I'm going to blame Fox Theater for that one. But the thing is, the comedian already hit the stage. They're saying the comedian hit the stage about 8:13. Okay, that's about 8 o'clock, because that's about time I tried to get inside, and it was crowded. It was hard to get in there. I've never heard of a show ever starting at the ticket time. I've been to so many shows, I don't remember. I've never heard of a show starting at the time it said on the ticket. The comedian's on the stage. He's not doing too good. The audience is already booing him. You know what that tells me is this is an interactive audience. The audience is telling you what they want to see, or at least they're trying to interact with you. He played along. He interacted back. But anyways, he wasn't doing too good. Charlie Sheen came out. The audience roared and loved it. Not only did he come out and said, hey, this guy's just doing his job, but he gave the guy a Snickers. Oh, come on, that's hilarious. After the comedian got off, we had intermission. Okay, he still needs time to get ready. Come on, if you actually sat and watched the show, you might want to get up and get a beer. Two beautiful ladies came on to the national anthem. It was a cute start. But the national anthem, this is a theme of patriotism that kind of wraps around this show. They keep bringing back patriotism and our loyalty. Even the stand-up comedian, when he was being booed, he brought up America. This is to play off our emotions, to get us riled up with them. Because come on, let's not wrap the American flag around everything. That's kind of a cop-out. That's what I think. But they started that way. It was cute. These were contest winners. It was cute. So he came out. Everyone roared. Okay, I'm skipping something. They then played a 3-minute-long video of a bunch of clips. It started off cool, start with the Jaws music. We're thinking since the Jaws appears, Sheen's going to come out. It went on too long. Another thing that went on, videos that lasted too long, skits that started off as a good idea and just went too long. He's never done this before. This is the experiment. When you're doing an experiment, Do not do it in front of a very large audience if you do not know what to expect. When you're doing your first time stand-up, commanding an audience, you might not want to choose a huge major theater that's just been featured on a huge commercial. Yeah, those Chrysler commercials imported from Detroit, that was the Fox Theater in it. This thing drags on for 3 minutes. He finally comes out after his guitarist comes out, which people were worried when the guitarist came out, then they kind of faded off, then he finally came out. Great. And he did a great part of the show. He did a spoof off with the 2.5 Men thing. He put on the shirt. He took it off. The goddesses went backstage to burn the shirt. We don't know if it was live. I don't care. The audience loved it. And he does several things to play with the audience throughout the entire thing. He did really work with the audience. Something that these reports don't show. To continue work on the audience, he decided to play a bunch of YouTube clips. Now this is where things started to go downhill. Sheen does not know social media too well. He broke the records with getting Twitter followers. And so they made a mismatch remix of all these things that fans posted on YouTube. Yeah, who do you think bought your tickets? Your fans. We've seen all this. Somehow that memo didn't get out that other people can watch these things. He pulls up this podium, has this little warlock thing on it. That was cute. He did this rant. It was incomprehensible. People didn't know what the hell he was rambling about, but he kept rambling. That's okay. These are one of the reasons why we came to see him. I liked that. However, once again with the social media, he brought up trolls. Have any of you been to 4chan? Do any of you consider yourself trolls? I got my comments sitting right here. We have trolls that are fans. So I thought that was bad. I thought that was kind of dumb of him to declare war on trolls, because I don't think he knows the meaning of the word. He decides to show this movie, an old movie apparently he wrote and directed, starring a young Johnny Depp, a very young Clint Howard. So I was happy to watch it. Maybe not the best for a show, not the best venue for it, but hey, let's see where this goes. Well, about 5 minutes into it, he decides it's not working. Maybe someone, maybe he heard things that I didn't hear, and he decided it's not working, and he cut it. I really do. If you started something, finish it. That comedian that went in front of you, yeah, he was booed, but he wasn't booed off stage. You know why? Because he finished his gig. And that's a good thing. That's what you needed to do. You needed to stop listening to everyone, and if you start something, finish it. Because what did he do? He came out and wanted to tell some stories. He didn't start out too well. He mentioned who here does crack. If you're a crackhead, you probably don't have money to a Charlie Sheen show. That didn't go out too well, but he's like, hey, I got some stories, I want to tell you about how my car got stolen. Instead of continuing the story, no, he cut that. Why? Because audience members, like I said, this was an active audience. They wanted to participate, and when he wouldn't do it, because he's kind of passive, he wanted to satisfy the audience, but he didn't know how to work the audience. He doesn't have the experience. Not insulting him, just saying he doesn't have the experience. He ended up playing another video. He played a video of a remake of his 2020 video. It was funny. It carried on too long. We've seen enough videos. Stop with the videos already. We came here to see you. We want you to hear you talk. So he plays another, so this video goes on, and he plays another video of him just sitting on a bus while advertisements goes on. Cool, you got advertisements. Why do people think we spent so much for tickets? We didn't. It was a normal show ticket. It didn't, the people that paid $300, $800, those were scalpers. They weren't us. And other people were buying tickets from scalpers for $20. But anyways, this bus was going through, showing all these advertisements. Then we had some special effects. We had smoke coming out, and he comes out sitting on a bench. Wants to read a letter from the goddesses. Hey, I'm down for stories. That's why I'm here. Some of the members already fed up, probably from the abuse of advertising. I mean, we're sitting here watching these buses fly in this video. Buses go past him, one advertisement after another, after about 4 of them, 4 or 5 of them, maybe more. I don't know. I didn't keep count. Okay, we know how you pay for the show now. We don't need to see this advertising. So people were naturally upset. And we had a group of people standing up chanting the word a-hole. Of course, I'm being nice. Now what, again, they're not talking about is how many people were yelling at them, standing up, screaming at the other audience members. The audience had split. You probably can't even see that, but anyways, the audience completely split. There was people throwing stuff at the people that were yelling. But they don't want you to know that. The media wanted him to fail. So yeah, he's sitting, so he's like, okay, the audience isn't buying this. He walked back out off stage again. He brought up some white rapper. I've heard this song before. I know it was a popular YouTube video. Maybe not that popular, but something about the 80s, where I wear gold chains, it's the 80s. So after that, after he off stage respecting Charlie Sheen again, no, we see a video of Snoop Dogg. We're done with videos. Fox, you suck. Your sound was terrible. I knew that from the moment I went in your damn seats. I said, wow, this is terrible sound. As soon as the lights went up after the video, you guys started tearing down like crazy. You didn't give us a chance to redeem ourselves. Fox, I hate you. Theater, that is. So when people started getting up out of the seats, not even 5 minutes, I started getting texts, Twitters, all this stuff with articles already published about him bombing in Detroit. Wow, you really gave him a chance, didn't you? You gave him a whole, 2 minutes, 3 minutes before you published this thing? Wow. All these people started chanting for him. He came back out. He said, come down here, hang out. So some of us ran down there, and as soon as we did, I don't know if he left on his own accord, but he left. Whisper, whisper in his ear. They took a bow. The curtain closed. Now, I'll give him credit, because I don't believe, I just swear I don't believe you would tell people to come close to the stage just to take a bow and leave. Gotta give him more credit than that. I've been kind of ignoring this board a little bit, but so I learned that I won't use this board again. He learned he's not going to do that. The next 2 shows, the Chicago show and the Cleveland show, he used someone else. He used a moderator to talk to him in the audience, because he learned. And that's what Detroit was, a learning experience. He shouldn't have started in Detroit. That's his fault. Hopefully he'll come back here and redeem himself, but I'm not buying tickets to that show. Arr!